Franklin, Tennessee. There's a lot to talk about with Franklin, Tennessee. It really is such a great place to work, to live, to entertain yourself, to just find yourself in the middle of the country. Geographically speaking, it's pretty much in the middle of Tennessee, which in my opinion is the middle of where you want to be across the United States. You have decent access to the northern part of the United States, New York, the East Coast, and then down along the Gulf Coast as well. And so having this location right here, just geographically set here in Tennessee, to me is the best of all worlds. We have family that live across the country, and really it's just a matter of being able to drive to wherever we want to be. We don't necessarily have to fly to be able to get everywhere, though flying is always an option with the Nashville International Airport. So come on, dive into Franklin, Tennessee with me. Let's explore some of the things that you might find here, some of the things that you might find interesting about Franklin if you are considering a move here. First of all, I'm Erika Kurre. Thank you so much for joining me for Living in Nashville here on YouTube. I love to talk about all things real estate and just Middle Tennessee in general as it pertains to the housing market and life here in Middle Tennessee, specifically in Williamson County, but I do work in real estate all across the greater Nashville area. In Franklin, what you'll see here is we are in Nashville, just a suburb of Nashville, and a little bit southwest of Nashville, mostly south of downtown Nashville. And so looking at this map here, you see you would take 65 for the most part south, and then you can really pass through Brentwood, which gets you into Williamson County. Brentwood is separated between Williamson and Davidson County. Some parts of Brentwood are Davidson County, some are Williamson County. And so for a lot of people who want Williamson County, Brentwood, you have to be a little more discerning in your search for that particular part of town. But you get past Brentwood on 65, and then that takes you down to Franklin. And you can get to Franklin off of I-40 West as well from downtown, which is the way I come to and from Franklin. And it is, in my opinion, a much better commute, a much faster commute, more direct, depending on which part of Franklin you want to go to. So here we have Franklin off of 65. You can see Mac Hatcher, which is this loop around Franklin. And let me go ahead and zoom in a little more. So Franklin does sort of straddle 65 here with a little more of Franklin on the west side of I-65. And you have the 5 Points area, basically a lot of roads that intersect into downtown Franklin, which helps us make up our square. And the square is a really quaint little area. I love to go downtown in Franklin, and right around the square there are restaurants, there are boutique shops, there is some entertainment with the Franklin Theater. And we have a lot of events. Our local schools, for example, we host all sorts of activities in downtown Franklin as fundraisers. One of our biggest fundraisers is a songwriters night that we host at the Franklin Theater. And so it's really cool to be able to incorporate a part of history with our current culture to be able to help our public schools, which are phenomenal, by the way. We have really good public schools in and around Franklin. And speaking of public schools, there are two types of public school systems in Franklin. And it really just depends where you want your kids to be, where you want to buy your home. Both of them are really good school systems. Franklin Special School District has elementary and middle schools that feed into then Williamson County Schools, high schools, once you get into the high school zoning for your schools. And so we've got the Williamson County School District, which encompasses a large part of Williamson County. And then in Franklin city limits, closer to downtown, a lot of those homes are zoned for Franklin Special School District, with the specialized elementary and middle schools then that feed into the Williamson County Schools high schools. Franklin's high schools are Centennial and Franklin High School, obviously named after the city for Franklin High School. And these high schools are really well known for their academics, for their sports, for their geographic location, and quite frankly, they're very well attended by a lot of the people who live around here. We have a lot of private schools as well that a lot of people go to, but a lot of people move here for the public school system because our public school systems are so highly ranked across the country. Some of the more popular neighborhoods in Franklin are West Haven. You've got West Haven off to the west side of Franklin, and then you've got obviously Founders Point right here next to West Haven, but then as you go over to the east side of Franklin, you also have Ladd Park, McKay's Mill, those types of neighborhoods that are very common names, very popular, large neighborhoods and well sought after neighborhoods here in Franklin city limits. Our jobs market in Franklin is very robust. We have a lot of healthcare companies, we have a lot of entertainment, but a large part of our job market feeds into the greater Nashville job market, with downtown Franklin being so close to where we are located. Commute-wise, it's about a 20-minute drive to and from downtown Nashville to downtown Franklin to be able to get between the two downtowns of the cities there. So it's really just a straight shot going from Interstate 40 and from I-65. Both ways are easy ways to get to and from downtown Nashville from Franklin, but then there are also small streets as well that you can go back roads and not hit the interstates. A lot of options there. Franklin is very much known for its Civil War history. I did a project with HGTV about a year or so ago, and the producers there told me I'm not allowed to say Civil War, I'm not allowed to say plantation, but I will tell you though, this is very much of the history and the culture here in Franklin, Tennessee. There's a lot of education around just the events of what happened back 100 or so years ago. We've got a lot of the original homes that stood here at that time. They have been renamed into museums instead of plantations. And there is a lot of walking history that you can go through with the gardens, with the cemeteries, a lot of Civil War soldier cemeteries, and just education points to be able to teach your kids and to learn for yourself the events that helped shape where we are today in American history. Franklin is the county seat of Williamson County, so a lot of what happens in Williamson County takes place right in Franklin. It is a very robust type of city where we get a lot done, but it's not so big that we can't get things done, if that makes sense. We've got about 80,000 people who live in Franklin, and so we've got enough for several elementary schools, several middle schools that all pile into then the couple of high schools that we have. And rumor has it there will be another high school built soon. We're just supposedly waiting on the land to be secured. About 80 acres is preferable to be able to build a third high school for the Franklin area. Home prices here in Franklin have really grown, especially over the past 4 or 5 years, like anywhere else in the country. But our home prices have really almost doubled in the past just 5 years. And we're looking now at home prices here that are around the $1 million mark for the median home price sold in the past 6 months. And let's take a look through some of these homes to show you just a little bit of what you can see. In fact, I have a home listed right now in the heart of downtown Franklin that's priced just over the $1 million mark, and it's got 4 bedrooms, it's 3 bathrooms, beautiful home, walking distance to everything. They see rodeo parades going by on their front porch and they can watch all that. They walk to restaurants in the evenings to meet their neighbors for dinner. They have a really good time, and really lifestyle in downtown Franklin is about that. It's about being able to walk. You're in a small town, you bike, you just go past all these quaint shops, a place where a lot of tourists love to come. They love to take a chill pill, they love to relax, and this is the lifestyle for those of us who live here in and around downtown Franklin. But there's more to offer beyond downtown Franklin. We have a lot of homes that are not necessarily walkable to the square or bikeable to the square, but they offer a lot of really good living perks. A lot of our neighborhoods around here have pools, so you don't have to expect that expense in your backyard. A lot of homes are on 1/3 of an acre to about 1/2 acre in a lot of our neighborhoods. We have homes that are a lot larger, on larger acreage, a little further out, still within city limits, but you get what you pay for, just like anywhere else here in Franklin, Tennessee. You pay for what you get. Taking a look at some of the homes that we have sold here in Franklin in the past 6 months, the median home price is $1,070,000. So between that $1 million and $1.1 million bracket, and I've pulled up, there are about 40 homes that fit that description. And a lot of what you can see are, they're mostly, for the most part, going to be 4-bedroom homes on 1/3 to 1/2 acre lots. Like I was talking about, a lot of them will be in neighborhoods that have a pool, that have some walkable amenities, maybe trails, playgrounds. Some of them have tennis courts as well. There are some options among these homes for West Haven still. You can get a home in West Haven between $1 million and $1.1 million, have all the amenities as well. And of course, you have HOA dues then that will go along with neighborhoods that have those types of amenities. A lot of these quaint homes, so you can see many of them are 2-story homes. Many of them have some really nice landscaping, some features to them. Not too many of them are on hills, though it's not uncommon the further you go outside of downtown Franklin to have a hilly landscape, because that's pretty much the nature here in Middle Tennessee. But let's take a look through some of these homes as we flip through them and see what kind of looks like something that would be appealing. A lot of them are quite appealing, so it's kind of hard to choose, but this is typical of one that you would find closer to downtown Franklin. And it is on Pebble Glen, which is in the Cobblestone Court community. And when you look at the gallery through the pictures, you can see really this home is a little more than 3,000 square feet, has a sweet little aesthetic with the pitched roof. You've got a front porch, and then you walk into an open foyer. This home doesn't look like it's been staged, it's vacant, but it kind of helps you see, though, a little more of the floor plan. You walk in, most homes have a gas fireplace. That's the style here, that's really a trend here, and what you'll find for the most part with homes that are built or renovated in the past 10 to 15 years. You can see how the floor plan then goes into the kitchen, and then you've got the kitchen that's decorated mostly in white with stainless steel appliances. That is very typical. This particular kitchen has a garage door in it that elevates then for entertainment that's indoor-outdoor entertainment. And that is, in downtown Franklin, something that is very much a priority for those who live in downtown Franklin, is having that accessibility to have indoor-outdoor living as well. In the fall, in the spring, our weather is so beautiful. A lot of times you want to stay outside, you want to dine outside, you want to sit outside, listen to the birds chirping. A lot of people who I've helped move from larger cities like New York or Los Angeles, Chicago, they often comment about being able to hear the birds chirping here. And it always strikes me because that's something that sometimes I tend to take for granted. I don't anymore. Anytime I hear a bird chirping now, I think about this. But that's something that a lot of people don't think about till they hear it, and it almost stops them in their tracks and, of course, makes them want to stay and linger outside, as a lot of us do who live in and around this area in Middle Tennessee. Let's go back to some of these other homes. Let's flip through another home. So Berry Farms is a very popular community around here. It is also one of those communities like West Haven where you have the pools, the playgrounds, walking trails, tennis courts. In Berry Farms and West Haven, you also have your own grocery stores, a lot of retail shops, restaurants right there in your neighborhood. And so for a lot of families who live in these types of communities, you get a golf cart, you have a primary car, and that's your transportation. You have the golf cart to go in and around everywhere you want to be in the community, and then your car to get you everywhere outside of the community. But a lot of times the schools are right there as well. You've got pretty much everything you need for your day-to-day living right in your neighborhood. Not every neighborhood is like this, though. We have River Bluff. This is one of them that's close to it. And let me go back to a large part of our listings right now. You can see there are still new construction homes to be offered in that low $1 million price point. And I will say, even though our median home price around here is a little more than $1 million, you can still get homes that are priced below that, and you can get homes priced above that. Our most expensive home sold here in the Franklin area in the past 6 months was $12 million. It was in that bracket. But obviously, again, you get what you pay for, and the lower you go in price point, the lower your expectations are for what you're going to get for these prices. But $1 million around here is pretty much what you can expect for the typical taste in Franklin, Tennessee. Let's look at this one on Jewel Avenue. So Jewel is pretty close to downtown Franklin as well. And this is a nice home with 2 stories, 3 bedrooms, small acreage, but this gives you an idea too on what you can find in those neighborhoods like West Haven, because this is a West Haven home. And this is one of the more affordable homes that you will find in West Haven. You can see in West Haven by looking at my video, I did a video not long ago featuring West Haven alone. The homes are very close together, and that's part of the aesthetic for the neighborhood. It's part of the charm. Every home in West Haven has a front porch, and so that's part of the style that you're seeing here in these pictures, and that you are also going to see as you drive through West Haven and other communities like Berry Farms. Farrington is another one of those. They have very much similar aesthetic and appeal to attract a certain buyer. It's not for every buyer, but there are certain buyers who are very much attracted to that type of lifestyle. So this is what you can expect for the inside of a home in a community like West Haven. And of course, the golf cart, like I was discussing. Okay, back to results then. Let's pull up a home that's not in West Haven. These are very typical of what you're going to find in the parts of Franklin that as you branch out into the Grassland area, or you branch out into areas that are west of Franklin or south of Franklin, east of 65 even. So this one is Fieldstone Farms, and this is in the Grassland area. And in Fieldstone Farms, you can find a beautiful home like this, just over $1 million. Typically, in this price point, it's going to be a 2-car garage on a 1/4 to a 1/2 acre. And you can see for this Fieldstone Farms house, vaulted ceilings, open kitchen to the great room, presumably a gas fireplace again. And then, you've got the bathroom with plenty of space for a tub if you like a fixture like that, and potential to be able to update here and there as your taste prefers. And again, Fieldstone Farms, another community with tennis courts, pool, walking trails, playgrounds, more than one oftentimes, and just something for pretty much everybody. This is Ladd Park. This is one of the communities that we were talking about on the east side of I-65. So on the east side of I-65, you have all sorts of neighborhoods that are sort of right there. We mentioned earlier Sullivan Farms, you've got Ladd Park, you've got all sorts of neighborhoods, Lockwood Glen, that all sort of bleed together right there in that area. And this is very much of the style and the presentation that you can expect in a lot of these homes. They've got some pretty blue accents in this particular home. That's not common, but obviously I'm not mad about it. You've got the coffered ceiling in this particular home with a chandelier over the primary bed, and adds a really nice little touch to this home. The primary closet has a winding staircase in it. Really kind of a wow factor there, something that a lot of buyers would remember in their home search if they're touring through this home, and obviously gives you more space in the primary closet as well. This home sold at just over $1 million, just under the 1.1 mark at $1.8 million back in February. So a lot of things here that you can expect to see, a lot of options, a lot of choices, and it kind of gives you an idea on what you can find if you're looking for a home in Franklin, Tennessee. I personally love this area. I've been living here for almost 20 years. Don't care to live anywhere else, to be honest with you. We do have a vacation home elsewhere that we love visiting, but this is a place for us that is a long-term place for our children to grow up, to have a great childhood, a childhood like what my husband and I can remember. And we want to be able to give our children some of the opportunities to have a childhood that is very much something they can remember for all the right reasons. And a lot of people who live here are like-minded and live here for the same reasons. And so you, obviously, if you're looking to move here, you are welcome to explore this some more. I'm happy to help you. If you found this channel helpful, please like this video, comment, share, subscribe. I would love to be able to help you as you're moving here to the Middle Tennessee area and exploring your options. Obviously, Franklin is not your only option, but I think the more we can sort of hone what your interests are and what your priorities are, the more we'd be able to find which place might be the best place for you. So go ahead and reach out to me. I'm happy to help anytime. Would love to be able to help you in your move to Middle Tennessee.